Well, good morning and welcome to a brand new year, 2023. My name is Grizz. I'm your curator here at the Hesperia Museum. We're under the Hesperia Area Recreation District Foundation, which is a 501c. We are all volunteer and donation based to keep the museum going. In the past few videos, we've talked about some of the programs that we've done, some of the projects that we have, the scale models on various other things. Now, what I'd like to show you here today is some of the things that we have here developed as souvenirs, informational, a few different means of education. Now, first up, if you look at your top left, is a book that I wrote back in 2010. It was published by Images of America, called Hesperia. It's a very unique format, about 216 photographs and with very short descriptions, gives you a very condensed view of Hesperia's history. Now, the one next to it, which was written by Scott Johnson, one of our former elementary school teachers here in Hesperia Unified School District, he did it as a master's project. And he gave a little bit more detail on some things. Now, the one that's closer to me here is the Mojave Rendezvous, which was written by John Swisher. He has since passed on. He was involved a lot in the history of the Mojave Desert, in with the California Historical Societies and things. A very involved historian. Now, we've also been developing, you can see next to John's book is a postcard. We call them the then and nows, what it used to look like back in the day, what it looks like now, if it even still stands. The one that is closest to John's book is the museum here. It was built in 1921 as a kind of a bed and breakfast, and then became a resident by Leroy Stratton, and what it looks like now is the museum. We have one of our first fire engine back in the 50s, and what it looks like for the equipment that we have now, a major difference. The flume, and it was dug back in the late 1880s. The Walters store, which still stands, it is now a vintage mercantile that was built in 1915. In the lower left to you would be, you know it as Molly Brown's. It was built in 1960 as Swanee's, and then our first start of the recreation area here in about 1954-55, we have the Hesperia Recreation Club, which is Lime Street Park now. And then our old schoolhouse that was built in the mid-1880s, and what it looks now without its bell tower, and there's the history behind it. I've done a couple videos with Sultana High School. Sean Brown's classes were fantastic to work with. He's a fantastic teacher. Now, on the bottom, closest to me, are two collector coins that we're doing, 2-inch wooden collector coins, and I am redrawing photographs into line artwork for these. So these are under development. Now, hopefully you can see it right here behind me. This is a trivia set that I'm working on. The goal is to come up with about 50 cards and have about 5 or 6 questions per card about a historic event or a historic building, and we're turning it into a game. This is currently in development. I've got about 5 or 6 cards put together now, but the goal is about 50 to create a trivia learning game. So these are just some of the souvenirs and that we have in order to raise some funds. Now, if you'd like to just donate, into some of the projects, that can be done at Hesperia Recreation Park District, main office at Lime Street Park. You can come into the museum Mondays and Wednesdays, 9 to 1, or by special appointment for groups. So we've got a lot going on, and we're looking forward to a wonderful new year and looking forward to seeing you. Y'all have a good day, and we'll see you down the road.